Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. Yeah, welcome everybody. What's up? Welcome to another great episode of the Windy City Rundown. I am Eric Avila. Jose Contreras will be joining me very, very shortly. But yes, make sure you guys follow us on our other social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, which we are live on both platforms. Make sure you guys like and subscribe our YouTube page. Also share our episodes on YouTube and also on Facebook. Hit the little bell on our Facebook page to get notified when our shows are live. And yeah, we got a lot to talk to you guys about today. There's a Cubs World Series champion that retired. The Bulls are hitting a little bad stride right now, losing the last 3 games for an apparent reason. But the goddamn Chicago Bears, ladies and gentlemen, the damn Bears are 6-3. Yes, they're 6-3, tied for first place with the Detroit Lions. And yes, can you believe it that the Chicago Bears are tied for first? You never thought that this was going to happen this year. I didn't think it was going to happen this year. I think none of us had this on our playing cards this year, that the Bears were going to be in first place, tied in the division some way, somehow. A lot of people mixed feelings about the playoffs. We'll get that to a little later. But right now, the Bears are 6-3. They defeated the New York Football Giants 24-20 on Sunday here at Soldier Field. And let me tell you that game had a lot of highs, had a little highs, very good little highs, and a lot of lows on how bad this team can be at times, playing down to their opponents, or the New York Football Giants were actually, giving them a tough time. Without that being said, though, let's look at some game notes. Caleb Williams went 20-36 for 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 carries for 1 rushing touchdown. Monangai 7 for 28 yards, a rushing touchdown. Rome 6 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson with 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and a fumble forced. Like I said in the beginning of the show, it was ugly. It wasn't pretty. That's for damn sure. But the Bears found a way to get it done. And honestly, that's the good thing about the Chicago Bears that I've been enjoying and I've been liking a lot lately this season. A lot this season, actually, how they just don't give up. There's no giving up on this team. This team has a lot of fight in them. And to be completely honest with you, I'm okay with it. Not every game is going to be pretty. Not every game is going to be great. Not every game is going to be like the Dallas Cowboys game. There's going to be a lot what we had for the last couple of weeks throughout the regular season in the next 5, 6, 20 years that that we're going to be here. And it's okay. We're in this process. We're in this moment right now where the Chicago Bears are finding out who they really are. And it's a team that doesn't give up. It's another game-winning drive from Caleb Williams, scoring a touchdown this time, running it down, through the end zone this time, giving the Bears the opportunity to be in the game, to be in contention to win or tie the football game. Luckily that the Chicago Bears won. Also, before I forget and I continue, guys, make sure you guys also can put, the link in the comment section too as well, for you guys to join us today. Also, you can put your comments on here. We read them up for you. That's another way to join the show. But yeah, come on, join us here on the Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and also on YouTube. But the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson, what Ben Johnson has done to the Chicago Bears is a complete 180 from what it was last year. A complete, I don't even want to say a masterclass, but definitely putting on a performance, of head coaching performance, to where one good change can have an effect on everybody. And these games that the Bears are winning, the Sunday game, right? The 2 games that we won 24 by 1 point with the Raiders and the Commanders. The Cowboys game. Just name those few right now. Like, those are the games that the Chicago Bears that we talked to for the last couple of years that the Chicago Bears lose on a week-to-week basis. the script has flipped, and I don't even know how to react to that because this is something that I've never been a part of. This is something that I've never been. This is something that the Chicago Bears have never done in throughout their history. No matter what quarterback is in that, and you go as far back. We always talk about the now between Justin Mitch or within the last couple of years, but I'm talking about even before. I'm talking about McMahon, Kramer, Jim Harbaugh, all the other quarterbacks before that, Rex Grossman, Kyle Orton, a lot of the Bears quarterbacks, they have never been in this point, or they've never made us feel comfortable at that point to know that no matter if we're down or if we're tied, our quarterback can get us down and score. Maybe Cutler here and there, but not as like every single time. It's just like, oh shit, let's see if Cutler can do it. And now with Caleb, including last year and the games that we've lost, that he brought us down to the field and gave us an opportunity to score and either win or tie the game. Like, I could legit sit here and tell you guys, like, fuck, Caleb Williams can actually win us the football game every single time the Bears are down in the last 2 minutes or within the last minutes of the game, and comfortably be like, hell yeah, yes, this is our time. We can do it. And it's not going to happen every time. Don't get me wrong. It is not going to happen every time. We're not saying that, Caleb Williams is going to win us every single game. We're not. He's not. But at least you have that confidence in our QB to say, you know what? He's bringing us down out to the football. He's bringing us down to score for the game, the chance to win. Tony, what's up, man? How are you today? So Sunday was the last the last win, 2 more wins for the season. I don't know. That's a good topic conversation. And obviously we're gonna be in our tough stretch of the season, right? Now we have the Vikings on the road this week coming up. We got the Steelers next week. Then we have the Eagles on that Friday Night Football for Black Friday. Then we got the Packers in between there with the Browns, the 49ers, the Packers again, and the Lions at the last game of the season. I don't know. Honestly, and it's a good point to bring up, Tony, because outside of the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, I think those are probably like the only 2 teams, Tony, where I can sit here and tell you to be like, those are probably like the only 2 teams that I worry about that give me a little fits. Steelers doesn't convince me. The Browns don't convince me. The Packers definitely do not convince me after yesterday's performance against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Minnesota Vikings, whatever they're going through, over there, that's another one too as well. Like these games are as winnable as they come. The 49ers don't scare me. There's a lot of injuries there. The Packers just gave me more confidence that I feel like we could beat them not once but twice. The Minnesota Vikings, I know we're going to have our revenge game on the road. It's going to be a very difficult, hostile environment on Sunday, but I feel like the Bears, the way how they've been playing and how the Vikings are just not there yet with their new quarterback or with their rookie quarterback or their second-year quarterback with J.J. McCarthy, they're not there. Just the Lions and the Eagles. The Browns are the Browns. They just have a very great defense, and I feel like that's the only one where I feel like, okay, can the Bears find a way to isolate that pass rush or isolate that? You know what I mean? But outside of the Eagles and the Lions, and not too wholeheartedly convincingly, but still I give them the benefit of the doubt because they're the teams that have been in higher performance. Everybody else on our schedule doesn't really worry me as much as I thought it were going to be last year when we saw the schedule. Tony says our secondary is not that good. The Bengals exposed us. Great receivers. Just watch on Sunday. Oh, 100%. No, you're definitely right on that part. Yeah, our back line, our back half, our secondary hurt. No Kyle Gordon, no Jalen Johnson. We probably won't even have them till December to before the end of the year when it really matters the most. No real confidence booster. I feel the same way about our defensive line too as well. Like there's not really that much max protection. How many times do we have to blitz? Like CJ Gardner-Johnson over here with 2 sacks coming out on the blitz. Very good plays by Dennis Allen. But even then, so you're right. Like our secondary doesn't give us hope to think that they're going to shut us down. However, The one thing I would say about the Chicago Bears defense is they're very opportunistic. They can take advantage of moment situations to where, like, if they smell blood, they will attack, and they have done that time and time again. And another thing is that JJ McCarthy is also a quote unquote rookie quarterback, even though it's his second year, but still first year playing. You've seen that there's some type of there's a lot of holes in his game that needs to be tailored out. This team is ready to go, ready to win in the Minnesota Vikings on both offense and defense, yes, but the quarterback is also a big play. Yes, they beat us in the first game of the season here at home on Monday Night Football. I understand that. You don't have to tell me that's what he did. They exposed, but you're talking about 8 games ago. He has missed 4 games in between there, and since he's came back, he hasn't looked that convincing. And a team that has Justin Jefferson's, that Addison, Aaron Jones running game, although the running game is looking a little bit better for the Minnesota Vikings, right? They still have Hockenson, like they have weapons on that on the offensive side, and the defense is a formidable front, especially when Brian Flores is calling the games. On top of that, the quarterback play does play a role in this. And if he somehow, some way finds that game, his alter ego, whatever it's called, that he calls himself, JJ McCarthy, then we'll be in trouble. And I understand that. That's no problem. Tony said we gave it to them 100%. We did give him that game. And there are lessons to be learned from that on out. I think the Bears are coming in with a chip. Do I say that the Bears are a favorite? It's more of kind of like more of a pick 'em, more of a toss up than anything. But don't get me wrong, the Chicago Bears, especially how they've been playing lately on offense, the last couple games for sure. But what I can say is they give me confidence going into this game, saying that the Bears have an opportunity to go to Minnesota and get a win, a much needed division win, a much needed conference win that they need, simply because the Bears, like it says right here, I think the Bears are 6-3 and tied for first place with the Detroit Lions, who they lost the second game of the season this year. The Chicago Bears need to find ways and opportunities to go on and put a stamp in Ben Johnson's era, to know that, hey, we're here in the NFC North and we're here to stay and we're here to fight. And I think it's going to be a dogfight on Sunday in Minnesota. I feel more confident than anything knowing that the Chicago Bears can do it, knowing that the Chicago Bears will do it. But in all reality, the game has to be played for sure 110%. The one thing I will say, though, is I do worry about that secondary, though, Tony. You're 100% right. That secondary doesn't give me all the confidence in the world. But you know what? We have seen so far this year in multiple games that Caleb Williams and this offense can carry this team to victory. Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on all social media platforms, Instagram. We are live on YouTube, so make sure you guys like and subscribe there too as well. And also on Facebook, hit the little bell on our page to get notified when our shows are live. And also share our comments, share our show, share with your friends and family. We appreciate the love and support to get us involved and hopefully grow this platform bigger for 2026 for sure. Tony says Sunday's a must win. Sunday's a must win. If they do win away, we're out here. We come. It's a message game. A message game. I don't want to say no, right? I don't want to say no, but I know where you're coming from. I hear what you're coming from. But I really want to say no. And then the reason why I want to say no is because the message is probably only to the NFC North, but not for the whole entire NFL. And I think that's probably the more important part. That's why I'm kind of, yes and no. Like, I think it sends a message to the NFC North saying that, we are out here. We're here. We're serious. And we're probably going to be here for a very long time, especially how Caleb Williams has been playing for the last couple of games, especially how Ben Johnson has completely taken over this team and given this team energy and the moxie and the confidence and the aura of just going out there and do good, better, best. You know what I mean? Like, being out there and making this team compete game in and game out. He says it takes 60 minutes in a football game. That's how long the games are, 60 minutes. And that's 110% facts. It doesn't matter what you do in the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes. It's what you do within the 50 minutes in between and how to carry on from beginning, middle, and end. And you have to go in every single game like that. Yes, you're not going to be perfect. Yes, you're not going to be good. Yes, you're going to be horrible. But can you ride the ship? Can you ride the waves of how topsy-turvy this NFL league is? And so far, Ben Johnson, being the captain of the ship, has done it very, very well. Yes, there's been bumps in the road. No NFL game or no NFL team is going to be perfect. But it's how you get out of those situations. And the Bears and Ben Johnson have proved that they can get themselves out of this situation. I don't like it. I hate it at times. It pisses me off. It frustrates me. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have a W next to our name than an L. He said, we put the Vikings out, one team in the division at a time. 100%. We still got 2 games against the Packers and 1 more against the Lions at the last game of the season. That could be very pivotal, depending how well the Bears are playing from here to then. Right. But for sure, we need to get that 1 win in our division. And it starts on Sunday with the Minnesota Vikings. It sucks to be right? Rather be 1-2 than 0-3 in our division. And that's 110%. And we got to take this 1 game at a time. We really, really do. But the thing is, again, as a message game, if the Bears do fall 0-3 in our division, that doesn't look good for playoff hopes and playoff aspirations. Right now, the Chicago Bears are 6th in the NFC. The Bears are in the playoffs if it ended today. That is crazy work. That is crazy talk. The Bears are tied for 1st with the Detroit Lions. I didn't have that in my bingo card. Tony, I know damn well you didn't have that in your bingo card. Jose, who will join me a little later, didn't have that in his bingo card. I don't think any of us had the Bears in 1st place this year at any point of the season. For them to be 6-3, above the Vikings, above the Packers, and tied with the Lions, that's a sign of that this team is not going down without a fight. And I love that. And I want that. And that's what the Bears have been missing this whole entire time. Somebody to inject them with that hope. With the hope. That's what it is. With the hope, knowing that they can come in any game, or they could go into any game and be like, don't give us an opportunity. Don't give us that free range to go and win us this game. Don't give us that, don't give us hope. And that's what the one thing I love about the Chicago Bears. At the moment that there's hope, the moment that they're down 1 score, 2 scores at this point, because they were down 10 on Sunday, don't let them be down at any point of the game, because they have that confidence and that moxie to come back in this game and turn this game around on its head. What did Tony? Tony says that's what the Patriots are doing, 1 game at a time, and they are 8-2, 110%. 110%, and you can only be whoever's in front of you, right? I'm starting to, I've been hearing this narrative from friends and obviously in, Chicago sports radio stations, throughout the day, that the Chicago Bears haven't beaten anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hate to ruin this for you, but we've been knowing this schedule since last year on week 16 of last season, that who are we going to face? And we go into every season, we do the picks in May when the schedule release comes out. We do it again before the season starts, and we always put the team that we said, if this team and this team and this team is like this and like that and like this and like that, then this is a W, this is a loss, this is a W, this is a W, this is a loss, this is a loss. Like, we do this every single fucking year. Every year we do this. And yet somehow, some way, it's not convincing for people, because we don't have this splash win. We don't have this special win, the statement win that every NFL. Newsflash, it's not about statement wins. This is not college football. This is not how you beat teams 83-0 just to be up in the rankings, to be in the college playoffs. No, it's not. This is the NFL. Wins and loss matters. However you get them, you get them. The Bears are 6-3, and we've been knowing about these opponents since last year. So miss me with that BS about saying that the Bears haven't beat anybody important. I can say the same thing about the Patriots that Tony put up here too, as well, that the area too, that they really haven't beat anybody of significance other than the Chargers. And I think I don't know if they face the Bills or not. I'm not a Patriots fan. I don't know. But at the end of the day, what matters is the wins and the losses from your team in that season. Tony goes on and says, "Oh, definitely, I didn't have them in the playoff picture. Neither did I. I would love for them to be in the playoff picture. You know what playoff picture I really want them to be, Tony? The one that says in the hunt, where the last 6-7 games in the season, the Bears are in the hunt on the outside looking in, because at least that gives me hope that the Bears are building something. The Bears are doing something good, doing something well for them to be in that picture, in that category, in the hunt. We see it right now today. The Bears, wild card 6. We will face the Detroit Lions on the wild card weekend in the playoffs if it ended today. That is crazy. Tony says any given Sunday, just look at Washington. They were favorites all season, 100%. And again, glim and glamour of last year. You know, last year they were the hottest team. They were the best team. They were the it team, the Cinderella team, I guess you can say. The team that everybody would love to fall behind because you have first-year head coach, first-year offensive coordinator, first-year quarterback. Everything's hitting on stride. They're going into the NFC title game last year against the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Detroit Lions in the divisional round, or I think it was in the divisional round. And in a crazy game, like that team was just the team that everybody was rooting for. Now, look where they're at right now. Look where the Washington Commanders are at right now. The Commanders are out of the playoff picture without their QB1, playing their backup, and just having an abysmal of a season. This goes back to the conversation Jose and I had last week with the trade deadline, talking about this is a missed opportunity because you don't know what you're going to get in the NFL season every year. It's not the same thing. There's a few teams where you could easily use a pen or a marker and just check off that they're in the playoffs, like the Chiefs, like the Bills, like the Eagles, right? Those are the main 3, the Ravens 4, but a team that hasn't really built that credibility, that the team that hasn't built that rapport of being in the playoffs year in and year out, like the Chicago Bears are doing this year, like this is a great season. I'll even put it like this, Tony. You said, I think that's the Bears this season, 100%. Oh, you believe that they're the Commanders of last year? Interesting, and I could kind of see it. I could kind of see it. I know where you're going with that. And it's not a bad pick, right? It's a young and up and coming team, right? It's the number 1 drafted quarterback of last year, the most hyped quarterback coming in last year. The Bears have, with the abysmal season that the Bears have this year and the quick turnaround of the Chicago Bears. I could definitely see where you're going with that, them being the Commanders of last year. But also at the same time, I kind of see them being like their own little thing because like they've also had their fair share of injuries. They've also had their fair share of like not looking that really good in any of the games this year. Like they're not really that complete. Like 1 week the defense dominated, or a couple games the defense dominated. The one game where I guess it was just completely perfect, the Cowboys game, and then the defense taking a downfall, but the offense are picking that up. Like this has been a really roller coaster ride in between there, right? It surprised the NFL 100%, and the Bears are surprising. The Bears are surprising the NFL right now at the moment, right? They're surprising the fact that the team is where they're at today because of Ben Johnson, because of the well performance of Caleb Williams in this offense, right? How the running game is finally going to, looking like it's the running game how it was supposed to be under Ben Johnson, right? The offensive line, we've talked about for years, for decades. We've talked about how there is no offensive line in Chicago. Caleb Williams only got sacked once? The last game against the best, against the player that has the most sacks and Burns, and I think they're in top 3 or top 5 in quarterback sacks this season, and they only got 1, if not none. on Sunday. The Bears' offensive line has been great. Thank God they've been healthy. I mean, it's been the same unit since the bye week, 3-4 weeks ago. With Wright, Jonah Jackson, Dahlman, Tooney, and Theo Benedict, right? Has it been great? No, but it's still good enough for Caleb Williams to go out there and perform and make the throws, the timing throws, make the plays, go through his progression, and if when shit hits the fan, Caleb has to improvise. Caleb has done a fantastic job because the offensive line still has given him holes and opportunities long enough for him to scatter out the out of the pocket and either make a play with his arms or with his legs. You know what I mean? And it's been great for it's been working for the Chicago Bears for the last 8 games, right? And he said the sacks on the quarterback. Look, Caleb is going to have his fair share of sacks. He's still young. Like, we still got to remember, guys, that Caleb Williams is in his second year. He still has those little rookie mistakes sometimes, even though he's in his second year. But, he's still young enough. The clocks, you could slowly start to tell, like, it was only 1 sack that he took, right? This last year, he would probably had 4, 5, 6, 7 sacks already on him, But his sack total has gone significantly down this year. And he's done an amazing job to not put himself in those situations. Look, every quarterback every once in a while is going to put themselves in the situation where the sack is mainly more on them than it is on the offensive line. It happens. It's football. Shit happens. You know what I mean? But we also got to give credit where credit is due. And the line has done its job so far this year. Tony says they have nothing to lose and prove that they're having fun 100%. This is what the whole season's about. Just to, fuck it. That's the perfect way to put it. Fuck it. If they beat us, they beat us. And if we're there, we're there. And that's fine with me. The Chicago Bears, what the Chicago Bears remind me of, Tony? And everybody else that's watching, thank you for watching here, Windy City Rundown on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to all our shows on Facebook and on YouTube too as well. But you know what the 2025 reminds me of, Tony? The 2015 Chicago Cubs, the team that has no expectations, that didn't have any type of expectations because they were coming off another 100-loss season the year prior. Then they just hit this stride, and this team is fun. This Chicago Bears team is fun. I love this team. This team is just exciting to watch. Frustrating at times. Don't get me wrong. It is frustrating and it is disappointing and it's ugly. And I sit there like, not even Arsenal and Club America put me like that. Mexico, probably most of the time, not more often than not. But no matter what, this Bears team is just fun. Like how they gut us down to this situation, how they come back in these games and put themselves in winning situation and winning football, playing important when it matters the most. Like this team is just, they have the grit to not stop fighting. And I love that because the head coach has already engraved that to them already. Tony says, look at Love last night. 100%. He was ass. 100% he was ass. 7 points. It was 7-10. Mind you, granted, look, both teams were ass yesterday. And that's why, like, to me, when the Bears do face the Eagles the day after Thanksgiving, like, I'm not fully sold on them like everybody else is. I truly am not. But you have to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're defending Super Bowl champions. And a game like yesterday gives me confidence that the Bears can go into Philadelphia and provide an upset. You know what I mean? The Bears can go in Philadelphia and shock the world and have that statement win that everybody wants them to have, apparently, because they haven't beaten anybody of significance. But what I saw yesterday gives me confidence against the Packers when we play them twice again. Like I said earlier in the show, gives me confidence when we go, not that much of a confidence, but more confident more than not when we play against the Philadelphia Eagles the day after Thanksgiving, right? Like I said, the Steelers, the Vikings, they don't convince. The Browns, they don't convince. The 49ers, they don't convince. And the Lions, well, the Lions are the Lions. But the Lions, Jared Goff in December, outside outdoors, I mean, we saw what we did to him when he was here in December when he was with the Los Angeles Rams, right? We saw that. Yes, he has one in Chicago, but this is like we're getting him literally the first week of January. Last game of the season. Jared Goff is ass. Outdoor cold games, guys. He's ass. He sucks. which gives me a little bit more confidence. But at the end of the day, the Lions are still the Lions. You know, I'm still going to lean more to the Lions than I am for the Bears, but it's not by a lot. Trust me. Tony said, just look at the coach. When it doesn't go the way he wanted, he adjusts for the next week. That's the difference. 100%. Sometimes he even adjusts on the fly. I believe he adjusts on the fly. I believe he adjusts at halftime. I believe like he looks like he's like, screw it. We're doing something different. This is what we're going to do when we're coming out of the second half, and this is how we're going to run it. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think that's the mastermind of Ben Johnson, that he's thinking ahead. He's already looking at, you know, the third and fourth quarter later on in the show, or later on in the game, right? Like he's just adjusting. He's communicating with his offensive coordinator and everybody else on the offensive side of the ball. He's communicating with Dennis Allen on the defense side of the ball, what they're doing, right? I really feel like he's a really great communicator, and you can easily tell. I mean, look at the videos after the game when they win. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. You know what I mean? How everybody's around there just hyped and excited to see him, or just to be there. You know what I mean? He has done this very well for the Chicago Bears. It's exciting. Like he has the players. He has all 52 or 6 or 56, whatever, including the practice squad. He has them by the grip. Like he is controlling these guys and having these guys, but the palm of the hand, because what he's saying, what he speaks, is nothing but the truth and confidence and motivation, and just be like, believe in yourself. And that's what we've been missing since Lovey. We didn't have this. We definitely didn't have this with Matt Eberflus the last couple of years. We didn't have this with Matt Nagy. Definitely the hell. We sure damn well we didn't have this in John Fox. We didn't have this with fucking Phil Emery. Y'all remember Phil Emery? Of course y'all remember Phil Emery. Those are the last 4 coaches that we had since Lovie Smith. And I feel like we're missing one more. The interim coach when Eberflus got fired last year. I forgot his name. 5 head coaches. 5 head coaches since Lovey in 2010 who went 10-6 and got fired. But we gotta admit, it was time to go from Lovey. Felt like the voice got a little long in the tooth. Nobody really, you know what I mean? Like it felt like it was time. I felt it was time. It was time at that time. You know that it needed to be a new voice, but they did that wrong 100%. How they went right after Lovie Smith. Accountability, 100%, Tony. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna like that on the Facebook page for sure. Accountability for damn sure for what what's his name, Ben Johnson has brought into the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Bears organization. And we should have seen that. We should have seen that right away, Tony. I saw it sort of kind of right away the moment that when he got introduced as the Bears head coach. You know, I saw when he got introduced as the Bears head coach, like he came in and talked about this is his house, and the way how he talked to everybody in the staff when he was up there at Hallis Hall. Like it started from there. And if you guys didn't catch it then you know you guys probably gonna barely catching on now. But I saw it from right there. Like this guy brought a demeanor to the Chicago Bears organization. His press conference, the way how he spoke to the players, like accountability. You know, this is right up there. You know, so I mean, 100%, dude. Like it's there. It's there. I said it earlier in the show, Caleb Williams put the Bears tied for first place. The Bears are tied with the Detroit Lions at 6-3. Like I said, nobody had this in their bingo card, you know? Take a little swig. Nobody had the Bears tied for first place in their bingo card. I didn't. Tony didn't. Jose didn't. John didn't. No, none of us did. CP didn't. The people that normally join in the show. Nobody saw this. Nobody had this in their card whatsoever because we didn't think it was feasible. I sure damn well didn't think it was feasible that the Bears were going to be somewhat in first place at any point of the season. They are now. They're tied for first. And all thanks to Caleb. You know, Caleb put this team on his back. Caleb went down, drove down, you know, got us the field goal and got us the game-winning touchdown, you know. Which is the next question of the show. Did Caleb solidify himself as a franchise QB1? 100%. And if you don't believe this now, I don't think you're ever going to believe. I don't care what this man does. I don't care in what atmosphere. Like, if you guys are waiting for him to take the Bears to the Super Bowl, then you guys are going to still be a hater for the next 2-3 years because I don't think the Bears are anywhere a Super Bowl caliber team just yet. I wholeheartedly believe that. And if you're still not down and believing that Caleb Williams is your QB1, your franchise QB1, might as well not join the party, guys. Might as well just be a Caleb Williams hater or a QB hater, because we finally have something good in our front of our eyes that the guy can go down and just have an opportunity for us to win the game, have an opportunity for us to defeat any team that's in front of us, no matter what point of situation of the game is. But we have a guy who is poised in any situation of the football game, especially the last 5 minutes of a football game with time on the clock, just down by a score, making the big plays with his legs and his arms, giving us that sense of confidence that he could go down and win us a football game or bring us back into this game with a tie. And it baffles me. It blows my mind that people still think that he's not the one. You know, Tony Go says when he tells people the practice facility is where it all starts, 100%. I mean, he did say that, and he has all the control. Ben Johnson does have all the control. But again, back to this. That's a good question, Tony. Wondering if Justin Fields needed a coach just like Ben Johnson. I think any quarterback would benefit like a Ben Johnson, like with a coach like Ben Johnson, right? I think any coach could definitely, any quarterback could benefit from him. It's just how well do you reciprocate it? That's the real question that comes with that question, Tony. Even if that was a question, but it depends how the player reciprocates the message from the head coach. Now, if the quarterback doesn't reciprocate it well, like how Justin, and granted, right, Justin had a piss poor start. I mean, look, the last three quarterbacks has literally fell under the same formula. Got drafted by one coach. The coach got fired the year after. Was with the same coach for 2-3 years. Then he gets let go. Then they draft another quarterback. Then that coach gets fired that drafted that quarterback. The quarterback has to learn another system. That coach ends up leaving. They end up drafting another quarterback. Then that coach leaves again. And now this quarterback has a whole nother head coach. It's the same recipe for the Chicago Bears for the last 8 years, 9 years, however long has it been since Mitchell Trubisky. Okay. So the thing about Justin Fields that I would say about this, Tony, before we move on, is that Fields went from Matt Nagy, Matt Eberflus to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin didn't see it in him, right? Then the New York Jets gave him an opportunity. And right now, Justin Fields is probably riding his longest win streak of his career. I'm not 100% sure how that is or if it's really true what I'm about to say, but the Jets are in a 2-game winning streak right now at this moment behind Justin Fields. We've all loved Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields. I thought Justin Fields was going to be that guy after Mitch because I saw something in Justin that I didn't see in Mitch, and that was a very elite athlete. I saw Justin Fields play in the national title game in Ohio State. He's been there plenty of times. I personally believe that I thought that Justin Fields was going to be that guy. Then I seen that Justin Fields struggles to throw 6 yards down the field accurately enough. Don't even talk about the long ball. But then again, you're right. Give Justin Fields the right atmosphere. He might have been a different player. And you could say that about any quarterback or any running back or any offensive line or any player in the NFL, quite frankly, to say give us another coaching opportunity, we might have been different. Those are facts too. But with Caleb though, Tony, again, if you're not down with Caleb now, I don't think you ever will. I think you're just asking for a miracle, maybe. You're asking for something that no other Chicago Bears quarterback has done, probably. You're probably asking for something that, quite frankly, just doesn't exist. And you just want the world within right now in order for you to crown him as your franchise quarterback, where you crown quarterbacks before quicker than a guy that actually knows how to play the position in Caleb Johnson. It's just mind-boggling to me. It's crazy that a lot of people still don't believe in Caleb. And that's fine. That's your agenda. That's your opinion. That's how you feel. I'm not judging you how you feel. I'm probably judging your sports IQ, your football IQ, and what do you see or evaluate in a player. That I will judge because I don't know if you and I are seeing the same thing. I don't know if you and I really understand the sport the same way. But when you see a player that's been there, that's done that, and you see this player progress and succeed in that position that we've been dying to have for so many years, for all our lives, and y'all don't give him the credit because of whatever reason, I think that's just dumb to me, guys. I'm sorry. I don't like calling people dumb, but like that thought process, it's just it's blasphemy, right? It is just beyond ridiculous. Um, it's just beyond ridiculous that's the point where we're at of not crowning, or not really crowning, but really giving that franchise tag or franchise name to Caleb Williams, where he has proven plenty of times this year and a little bit last year in an awful year that he's that guy that could take us to the next level, or at least take us as far as he can. Can it be playoffs? For sure. I think he's more than capable of taking the Chicago Bears to the playoffs. Can he win us the big game? That's another conversation for a later time. Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and also on YouTube, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube page, and also like, share, comment, follow us on our Facebook page where we're live too as well. Hit the little bell on both YouTube and Facebook to get notified when our shows are live and on at the moment. The Bears play the Vikings on Sunday. We briefly spoke on it right now. Confident that the Bears could go in for a victory on Sunday, and that's weird to say. Like I have my board right here. I know you guys can't read it because of the glare, but I have the Bulls 6-3, 6-4, and the Bears 6-3. Right, the Bears can be 7-3 on Sunday. I feel like they could definitely get there. I feel like the Chicago Bears can beat the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings don't give me any type of worry as much because of JJ McCarthy and what I see. The running game, though, does worry me a little bit. Obviously, the wide receivers in the secondary and the Bears secondary do worry me a little bit. But in order for that to happen, the Chicago Bears run game has to step up, and you got to make JJ McCarthy beat you. I get the rhetoric that JJ McCarthy did beat you earlier in the season, the first game of the season. I understand that 110%. But also at the same time, it was the first game of the season. This Bears team is 100% different than the team that started of week one here in Soldier Field. But I definitely feel like this offense can carry this team to as far as it can go. And I think that's going to be the new mantra for the Chicago Bears. It's not going to be run game and defense all the time. Now we're in the in 2025. We are in the 21st century of NFL football, where the passing game can really help us take it to the next level. Where the passing game helps us, get a win, patrol to a win, right? That could definitely happen. I said definitely twice. But Caleb Williams and his arm and his quarterback playing can definitely get us a W. It's been proven for the last couple of weeks. He's been proven once or twice so far this year, earlier in the season too as well. Even in last year in the losses too as well, it's proven that Caleb Williams can take us down the field and give us an opportunity to win. And honestly, I can feel like that any game of the season so far. The rest of the games of the season, against the Steelers, against the Eagles, against the Packers twice, against the Lions, the 49ers, and the Browns. Like, I am more confident now than anything that the Chicago Bears quarterback can finally put his team on the back and take us to a dub. I can easily say that. I am convinced now that we have a quarterback that can finally do that. That, the defense just bend, don't break. That the defense just needs to just hold on, just to have one or two stops here and there. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect. I know that 110%, but I could definitely feel like, you just don't let us be in the game in the last minutes of the fourth quarter. Don't let us be down by a touchdown by a field goal. Don't let us beat down, because I know that my quarterback will take us down the field and will provide a score, whether if it's a field goal or a touchdown. So I do have the Bears winning this weekend. I do have the Bears winning on Sunday in Minnesota. Excuse me, sorry. For the score, give me a 27-17, 27-20. Give me a 27-20. I think 27-20 sounds about right. It's going to be such an ugly game. And I feel like it's only going to be 20 points if the Vikings run offense shows up. If Aaron Jones shows up. Now, so far right now, any running back right now can have success with this Bears defense. But again, McCarthy has proven that he's still not that guy yet. And he hasn't shown or hasn't given me any type of, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Any type of confidence that he can actually throw for a victory. Like, you go down there and win the game with his arms. I don't think he can. And the Bears are just okay enough on defense to provide that pressure for him to feel, for JJ McCarthy to feel. So I really do say like a 27-20. I like, we need a game like where the Bears are in control for 4 quarters and not give us any type of high blood pressure or heart attack. That's for damn sure. Like, because I'm tired of that. I know you guys are. I am too. So I'll give you that. So yeah, 27-20. The Bears against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. But yeah, no. Like I said, Windy City Live here on Facebook and on YouTube. Guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those good platforms. Like and share all our shows. Join us on the chat just like Tony did. Give us your thoughts about the Chicago Bears or any thoughts about any Chicago sports. Put them on the comment section. I'll read them for you. Go back and forth on your conversations of what you want to talk about or what you just said. Ending the show with this: the Chicago Bears are 6-4. They lost 4 of the last 5 games. That's including the bootlegged FA Cup tournament that they had in the middle of the season. That's what I call it, the bootlegged FA Cup. But the Chicago Bulls, I think they hit a wall. And actually like a humbling point, or maybe not a humbling point, but a slap of realization that you need a superstar to carry you at times, right? Yes, it's fun to have a team, that's high energy, high on defense, high intensity, all that, and a bunch of not no names, but names that you recognize because they play on the Chicago Bulls, right? The Bulls are lacking that one superstar that everybody in the league has. And I know that's been the problem for the Chicago Bulls for so many years, ever since Derrick Rose, right? Whatever you want to say about Jimmy Butler, you say about Jimmy Butler. Cool, that's fine. I thought that he's a well-known name. He was a star here in Chicago, and then his stardom grew once he left, right? But true superstar like Derrick Rose, the Bulls haven't had that one since, right? And they tried a mosh posh of things. They tried D Wade, another homegrown Chicago. They tried Jabari Parker. They've tried Rajon Rondo. They've tried many different variations. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, in recent history. Like, the Chicago Bulls have tried many different ways of just to show up to the United Center. But the last 3 games that they lost against the Cleveland Cavaliers, San Antonio Spurs, and the Milwaukee Bucks, in the NBA season tournament or in the bootlegged FA Cup tournament that they had middle of the season, the Chicago Bulls have ran into a problem that no matter how well you play as a team, if you don't have a superstar that can actually win you a game or two, you're not going to go far in this league, or you're not going to make it far into NBA playoffs. And I think that's the issue with the Chicago Bulls. And obviously, right? But Giannis Antetokounmpo balled out. Yesterday, Victor Wembanyama balled out. Donovan Mitchell won them game on Saturday. And that's what the Bulls need. The Bulls need to find that. I don't think Josh Giddey is that guy just yet. I don't know what else he can offer. I don't know how high his ceiling is. But to be 100% transparent and close with you guys, that I've been watching the Chicago Bulls recently, I really do feel that the Chicago Bulls are not Chicago Bulls, I'm sorry, that Josh Giddey is more on the closer hitting his ceiling, then there's still more room on the ceiling to grow. If that makes any sense, right? Matos Buzuelas, I mean, the ceiling is still, we don't know where the ceiling is going to cap off. Still a young player. He can grow into that. But I mean, it's all fun and games. But at the end of the day, you need a superstar. You need a bona fide superstar, whether you draft him or you trade for him. You know, I've been selling silly trades about getting Giannis Antetokounmpo here, blow up a whole team just to get him here. That won't help. So the Bulls put themselves in this predicament for so many years and not really caring about the NBA team as much as us fans do. And this is what got me into my boycott. This is what got me into me not stop watching the Chicago Bulls and using my sports mulligan on the Chicago Bulls and find a new NBA team because of this reason, because they still haven't found the superstar or made even an interest to get you a superstar here in the NBA or with the Chicago Bulls. So I sit here and I'm just like, okay, it's fun. This team's exciting. This team doesn't quit. And I love that about this team, right? This is the Baby Bulls 2.0. This is the Ben Gordon, Kirk Hinrich, Ben Wallace, and Chris Duhon team, right? This reminds me of that team too as well. But we've been there, done that, and we've seen that story already. It doesn't take us very far. It's a bunch of players that we all admire and love to see, and like glad to have them on the Chicago Bulls. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like you take those players and put them somewhere else. What are they really? Are they the second best player on that team, or the third, or the fourth? Like I've always said, we at the Chicago Bulls, we like to put a star on a player that could be the third or fourth best player on any contending NBA team. We don't have a bona fide superstar on the Chicago Bulls. And I'm still going to continue watching the Chicago Bulls because they piqued my interest and I like how the way they're playing. But I know deep down inside, I'm starting to feel, and I felt it literally the last couple games that I've been watching them, that they don't have that player to take it to the next level. Not yet. They don't have that superstar that can put, just like Caleb in the Chicago Bears, put the team on their back and win you the game, like Victor Wembanyama yesterday, like Donovan Mitchell the other day, like Giannis Antetokounmpo on Saturday. There isn't. And we're suckered into this all over again. Shit, we talked about Jose, John, and I. It took the Bulls to be 4-0 for us to get Chizen, to get the Chicago Sports Network to pay $10 a month between us three to watch the Chicago Bulls because they caught our attention. That's all it took. That's literally all that took for us to give in on the Bulls, which is sad, but also at the same time, it's kind of like, we're just excited. We were excited to watch Bulls basketball because they were pretty interesting. They got interesting. Now reality set in, and the Bulls, like I said, lost 4 of the last 5. Had the Bulls came back down to earth, and I believe so. And I believe it's a hard reality that to accept that the Chicago Bulls are really just a playing team. Unfortunately, I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope this hot start, I hope that what we saw in the beginning of the season carries on through the next, 78 games, 76 games. Oh, there I am. Sorry, I froze, guys. Well, I guess with that being said, yeah, like I said, the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, I'm still gonna watch. I'm still gonna see what they're gonna do, see what the future plan is. But I don't even know what the future plan is, and the plan is not really that well. It doesn't sit well for me. I don't know what they're gonna have, but I will watch this team. I'll watch this team because they piqued my interest. I'll watch the team because they're interesting. I'll watch this team because, at the end of the day, I miss basketball. I've really missed basketball. I literally stuck to my guns and not watched basketball for the last 2.5, 3 years. I did it, so I'm okay with it. And I'm glad I'm watching basketball again. Something that I missed because basketball was truly the second sport that I watched. The Chicago Bulls are the second team that I enjoyed watching after the Cubs. It's literally the Cubs, the Bulls, and I became a Bears fan by myself. The Cubs was influenced by my uncle. The Bulls were influenced by my brother, and the Bears was just because of me, by myself, and I. So, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. Tony, thank you guys, thank you for hopping on. Jose didn't join me, but it's all good. I do appreciate you guys hopping on. We will be on here next Tuesday at 7:30 to talk about the Bears and the Vikings, see what the Bulls are doing for the next this coming week. And we will talk Blackhawks, because the Blackhawks are also pretty interesting too as well. I think Eric Hockey should come back and be watching the Chicago Blackhawks, because they are interesting too as well. So we'll have that. Chicago sports, the winter and the fall sports, man, they got interesting. They really got interesting. And I'm glad, because we've been doing this podcast from JCA to Win the Scene Rundown for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just been all negativity. All negativity. For the first time, all 3 teams are hitting their stride, are pretty interesting. So I am glad that the Bulls, the Bears, and the Blackhawks are good at the moment, right? Really good at the moment. One quick note: Kyle Hendricks retired yesterday. Thank you to Kyle Hendricks. He was part of the 2016 Cubs that won the World Series. My personal favorite pitcher, to be honest with you guys. I enjoyed Hendricks. Every time I wanted to go to a Cubs game, I really wanted to see Kyle Hendricks. I think the way how he pitched was just magnificent. A guy that didn't have any strong stuff, any fast velocity, but the movement on this ball, on his pitches, was just captivating. He's just very smooth, very cool, calm, collective guy. I enjoyed Kyle Hendricks the most. He was one of my favorite Cubs outside of Anthony Rizzo, but he was up there. He was definitely 2 or 3 for me for the Chicago Cubs. So, enjoy your retirement, Kyle Hendricks. I know you're not going to watch this, but, I still have to say it, because you gave my team a World Series, my first team that I root for in Chicago, my very first Chicago championship, to be completely honest with you, of me actually caring and wanting to watch in the Chicago Cubs. So thank you with that. But yeah, this is the Win the Scene Rundown. Thank you guys for joining us, guys. Make sure as always, like, follow, share all our episodes on Facebook and on YouTube. Guys, follow us on all our social media platforms. I do enjoy you guys for watching, joining us for today's show. We will be here next week, 7:30, hopefully for the full crowd. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys then. Peace.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap.
Like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm not.
Real serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.